Interesting description, I think, from Alastair Clarkson. I would have thought he had another year on his contract that earlier on in the season he would have seen that out. Caro, I'm really interested in your thoughts as they sit now, 8 and 11. They're facing the Hawks in Tassie this afternoon. They're 13th on the ladder. They've got the Bulldogs, the Cats and the Swans to come, so not an easy end to the home and away fixture. Is he riding off into the sunset this year?
There's a real change in tone, I thought, from Alastair Clarkson yesterday to Alastair Clarkson a couple of weeks ago when he said, we'll talk 8 to 10 weeks, with the board and with the executive of the North Melbourne Football Club. But, we're on a path and stability, and the implication being we need to stick to the plan here. Now, I don't think North Melbourne, the way things are looking, and I think last week's loss to St Kilda was probably the game changer for him. I don't feel that the board have any intention of extending Alastair Clarkson's contract over the off-season. I would be amazed if that happened. And I'm now beginning to think that they might even make a call this year. I'm hearing that that's a view from maybe some players, some other members of the footy department, not his great ally Todd Viney. But I think that there's a view now that maybe Alastair Clarkson's coming to the end of a brilliant career, let's face it. And I felt that the $1 million or whatever payout that it would cost North Melbourne, a club that is, they don't like the term, but they're, one of the smaller clubs, a recipient club, might be a handbrake, but to use one of Leigh's terms, but I'm not sure about that now. And particularly when you've got Adam Simpson.
There would have been a world a few years ago when Clarkson started where an 8-win season would have been a really good result. I mean, this was a team that couldn't win a game at all. This year they've won 8. Is it a matter of whether they reach the wild cards? Was that the minimum benchmark for this side this season in order for Clarkson to retain his job?
And some players have improved, that is true, but I think they needed to beat more teams above them and they just haven't been able to do that. When I say Adam Simpson wanting to coach, he hasn't told me that, but Adam Simpson, people who know him say that if there was one job he would take, it's to go back to the club that he captained, North Melbourne. Adam Simpson's living in Melbourne. I think Adam Simpson would love to coach the North Melbourne Football Club one day, and he, in his media role, has been critical of some of the performances. You've also got, obviously, there's John Longmire as well, who has said he's not going to go for a coaching job at the moment. But I think Simpson is right there. I think the club see him there. I think the enormous goodwill and support, some of it financial in terms of membership, etc., sponsorship of someone like Adam Simpson coming back to coach North Melbourne would be something that the board are thinking about. I also think if they did decide to go with Alastair next year and honour his contract, I think that would be really tough for him to go into his final year knowing it was probably his final year and that he didn't have the support beyond next year. If he could do that, if he could cope with that, maybe that's a solution. I can't call it, but I certainly think one of the options is that he finishes up this year.
Is Adam Simpson a better fit?
It's interesting times. One of the things, when you've been sort of stuck down the bottom group that North Melbourne were for a number of years, and you sort of make your way up to 8, maybe 9 wins, you've sort of like your progress has been good. They've gone from being kind of like really bottom 4 easy beats to competitive around the mid of the ladder. So I don't think it's based, and I don't think it all would be based on this year, Caro, because this year I think there's been a bit more optimism because they've been more competitive more often. It's more maybe whatever's going on behind the scenes of looking at sort of Clarko and his time, and where does the future take us? Because I think this year I look at this year as quite a progressive year for North Melbourne.
Yeah, and if they were able, look, if they made the top 10, you couldn't make a move on Alastair Clarkson because it would mean that they've got 4 really tough games now. If they could win 2 of those, well, that would be an extraordinary result.
Yeah, Caro, I need to ask you this because on Thursday night, Footy Preview, Craig Kelly, Collingwood CEO, was doing the rounds, had a nice double-page spread in the Herald Sun, and then did a lot of interviews off the back of it in which he was saying, we're out to get you, come to Collingwood, we want the top players of the competition. He was asked when we did our pre-game commentary by Jimmy Bartell about his future following a report that you had made previously that he was looking to manage his exit from Collingwood, and this is what he said.
It's just the way it gets reported by a certain person and people is at the end of the day, it's just we are talking as a club about all our key roles. I'll chuff off in a time that suits Barry and the board and myself, and we're in consultation and conversations, and it's all planned out, and we'll keep working forward. But I'll definitely be here next year, mate. You've got to put up with me for at least another year.
So do you, apparently, Caro.
Yeah, look, he didn't cover himself in glory throughout that interview. I've got to say, Craig Kelly came across as pretty arrogant, particularly talking about players from other clubs. Look, I reported on the agenda setter that Craig Kelly was managing his exit out of Collingwood and could potentially be gone as early at the end of this season, which was absolutely true at the time, and I never said he was definitely leaving at the end of this year. As I said to him, if you want an exactly accurate report, answer your phone calls. I'd rung him several times before I did that report. Don't offer the job to Simon Garlick, which he was doing as long ago as last year. Don't tell everyone over Gather Round that you're going to step down at the end of the year. I mean, Craig Kelly is definitely looking at negotiating his exit out of Collingwood. He was keen to sort of pick up some sort of hybrid role where he could leave as CEO and remain as a consultant to the club and look after big ticket items such as their new relationship with the MCG, and I notice he spoke about that too, if and when the MCG is renovated, and some other infrastructure issues to do with Tennis Australia in Melbourne Park. He completely overreacted to that report. In fairness, he was away on a golfing holiday for his birthday. That's why he said he didn't answer the calls. I felt that it was interesting that he missed for the second year in a row the King's birthday game, a major game for the Collingwood Football Club. That is completely his right, but I think he just overreacted. It was a perfectly positive report, and I think
where was his overreaction? He was just saying he'll be here next year.
Oh, people, misreporting.
No, Caro, misreporting. What did you actually say? Did you say he would not be there next year? Or I just thinking about it?
Said he's managing his exit.
He was thinking about it.
He's managing his exit, which he was.
I think he is, but that exit might be
So is he now not managing his exit as a result of people finding out he was?
I think Caro's right in the sense. He's an interesting character. I know Craig Kelly really well.
I was right in every sense.
No, but what I'm saying is he's managing his exit because there's other things he might want to do with his life, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. I don't think there's a time span on it. He's very different because we know that the CEOs of the big clubs, they're $1 million jobs, but he's run his big businesses, sold and bought them a couple of times. He's a fairly wealthy man, I would think. He's not doing it for the money. And I think he decided to do it. When he actually took it on, I thought to myself, why are you doing that, Ned? Why are you going back to do that? Because I think he wanted to do that to sort of help Collingwood. He feels that his role there helps Collingwood. But there's other things he wants to do with his life. I don't think he thinks I'm going to be a 20-year CEO or even a 10-year CEO.
Certainly not 20.
He'll have his patch there. So it is true that he's thinking about his exit, I reckon. But all he's saying is it's not going to be at the end of this year. That's what he's confirmed.
Also accurate was the fact that he was looking at staying on as a consultant, but I don't think that ever works, to be honest. I also think the long-term plan has always been, because there's no doubt about his passion for Collingwood, at one point I think he would love to be president of Collingwood, and that's where I reckon...
They're honorary roles too, of course.
Where I reckon. And when you say he's not doing it for the money, I think he's still happy to take the money. $1 million.
I'm not saying it's not going to make any difference to his lifestyle. And like a lot of people, you think to yourself, what do I want to do with my life? Do I want to travel? Do you want to be away during the footy season?
Exactly.
Rather than doing what we're doing, talking about the footy
for punishment
during the footy season. But nevertheless, but the other thing is interesting. Like arrogance, overconfidence, same thing, right?
Do you think he was arrogant?
No. Well, he's overconfident. Like, you're building up your club. People want to, he's trying to make sure people want to go there. And therefore, the more you build it up, that, so many people want to come here. Hey, you're welcome to come. But what is interesting, not so much the sort of having go at Caro a little bit about when's he going to finish. But being a bit unequivocal, I think he made the choice, like Zach Buggins come back to Melbourne. When everyone thinks Zach Buggins has come back to Melbourne, but he almost said he's coming back to Melbourne. I read that he actually sort of took that back. He shouldn't have been that categoric. But what he's saying, hey, if you want to play footy, you want to play at a big club and play in front of 70,000 or 80,000 people all the time, come to Collingwood. And I think that kind of, overconfidence is arrogance, but I think it's also building your club up as a destination for players, staff, anyone who wants to be involved in
And
footy.
Lee, you obviously have a great relationship with Craig
I know him
Kelly.
well.
I think
We're
you were at the
friends,
footy
yeah,
with
we
him
know
on
him well.
Thursday
Yeah,
night. But there is a certain etiquette among clubs. And I think most clubs honour that. And you know, I just think for one club to announce that another club's acting captain is coming to Melbourne is not done. And I think he realised that and he
went too
regretted
far,
that.
yeah.
He was whacked by Josh Carr and good on Port for sticking up for themselves.
What's the line,
Is
though?
it also
Because
the new world?
that's what I mean. This is what's happening now.
We've always thought up until the last few years, all this stuff is surreptitious. It's behind the scenes. And, clubs are talking to players and managers. I mean, that's been going on for a number of years. But all of a sudden, it's getting into the public domain. And you just wonder, to be honest, how much it'll be in the public domain. Like a club will say, there's so-and-so, there's Isaac Heaney at the Swans. Yeah, we're going after him. Like, there might be that whole narrative, because the public seem to love it. There's an industry of people who keep an eye on what's going on behind the scenes, don't they?
Trade.
So maybe
Huge.
it's just the new world, in a sense. I mean, this is going... Craig said he went a step too far to say Jack Budge is coming back.
So there's no issue with saying, I want you. You don't have a problem with that, Caro?
No, although, I mean, I think Craig also spoke about Lachie Neale.
Yep.
I think last year Craig McRae upset Michael Voss when he talked about going on a date with Jack Silvani. And I think that there's an irritant when clubs do it to a certain degree. And I think there is a line that you reach and then you don't overstep it. The Collingwood aren't the only club who have done it. And, you know, by the way, they don't attract that many players as other clubs do. I mean, and they don't retain all the players they want to retain. But it's fascinating to me how sensitive he was by that report. Now, I don't think the board was thrilled by it either. So there we are.
Yep, I think it's just happening now. I think that's the way it is. I mean, obviously there was a little bit of a lesson in Perth when Sam Mitchell was actually caught meeting someone in person, and that maybe was the bridge too far.
That's funny. That's only about a year ago.
Yeah, that's not far.
But it doesn't
but all the
seem as out of
communications.
But right now
would be phone, text. There'd be lots of messages.
Remember Oscar Allen? Remember it was like
that's what
it was like the Steel Knox 4 in Australian swimming. He did that shameful media appearance.
Press
it was
conference.
horrible.
But it was a big issue 12 months ago. I don't think it'd be as big an issue now. That's what I'm saying. I think it's changing in how public this stuff has become.
Well, Craig Cameron sat in this studio exactly a week ago, and he said, "I wish we could all." They know that clearly. They know that Ben King is now leaving. He said, "I wish we could all be more mature about this." If they knew exactly what was happening, it would make their life a lot easier.
Talk about Collingwood and Lachie Neale, right? Everyone just seems to think that Lachie's leaving Brisbane and probably will go to Collingwood. I just thought of a what if. I mean, if Brisbane win a third in a row and next year they're playing for 4 in a row, it's a big what if, I know. I wonder if that'd make you as a player think to yourself, geez, do I hang around for another 12 months? Because we're going for something that's mind-blowing. Like 3 in a row is big, but 4 in a row's sort of never been done.
Would it change your thinking as a player?
I reckon it'd affect it big time. Yeah, it would.
I mean, it's only a finite career, but we know with Lachie Neale there's the family circumstance, so you don't know how much that's going to play into. I mean, obviously Melbourne's not WA, which is where the rest of his family is, but it's closer. So it's hard to know.
Much closer.
It's not that much closer, but
no, it's about he wants to come to Melbourne. That's fine. But if I was part of a team that had just won their 3rd flag, with that list, with the younger emerging players that they've got, I would want to be part of something.
Whatever you're thinking in August, you might be thinking a little differently at the end of September. That's the point we're making.